bitch, 'cause it's safety for all. I'm in an op center, you renter. Nobody's going to stop my collaborating. I'm in an op center, note taker. Back in the office and work for me. I want that report by 1 p.m., bitch. Forget having a lunch. I want the icebreaker about what happens if you snitch to HR2. And I have a hunch that we are getting out of here by 5:30, so cancel your family vows, 'cause you're never fucking getting out of here. You're in the office now, just like real family. Op center, you renter. Nobody's going to stop my collaborating. I'm in an op center, I'll take my back in the office and you work for me.
All right, welcome back to another fantastic episode of I Am Fucking Exhausted. I'm your host, Chance Paladin. This would theoretically be recorded in front of a live studio audience. I don't know if anybody's gonna swing by. Fuck, I'm so tired. So snappocalypse part 2, everybody's probably already tired of hearing about it. So we'll I want to, there's kind of two topics I want to talk about that are kind of like snappocalypse adjacent. Hey show, how's it going? And so if you're listening to this later, leave a comment down below on what you're doing to prepare. I'm still sick. I'm not sick. I had this cough. This really reminds me of RSV, or just the cough never ends. I was sick for like 3 weeks, and the cough. I wake up with a sore throat every day still, and the cough isn't going away. Anyway, blah blah blah. So there's two kind of like snappocalypse adjacent things I want to talk about. One, bonk, sorry about that. One is how the states are responding. There's so many it's really oversaturated. Let's talk about that first. It's really oversaturated, but I think that's almost like a good thing and a bad thing. It's a good thing because everybody knows about it. You know what's funny is we actually did have peppers. We did have peppers tonight, and I've had jalapeno peppers twice this week. That's funny. Yeah, I wasn't even thinking about that, but yeah, RSV does not give a shit about peppers, unfortunately. They are hilarious. So that's kind of one of the funny aspects of it is, and I'm sorry for not setting up Streamlabs. I almost did it the other day, and I'm just like, you know what? Fuck, I'll wait. That's okay. Fuck. You know what's fine is I can go hours without coughing the fucking second I talk. It's like I had asthma. It's like you talked about, or it's like having asthma. So I can't really project my voice. Anyway, the videos are hilarious, absolutely. And it's like they're trying to goad each other. It's like they're trying to build each other up into the shit popping off. As somebody pointed out. But then there's other people saying, I was coming over there to say hi, and I saw that. So I'm glad you saw my stream pop on. A lot of people are saying that it's fear-mongering. I don't think it's fear-mongering. I think a lot of people tell themselves it's fear-mongering because they want to make themselves feel better, and I bet you they don't prepare. And so they say it's fear mongering. Those are the same idiots that say nothing ever happens. The thing is, like 99% of the time, nothing does happen. But I've never felt so strongly that like shit was gonna pop off than this. This is like, and I think a lot of other people have said this analogy too. This is like Rona levels of like pop off. In fact, even my wife said that. I was talking to her about it, and she said, like, what if their grocery stores are like during the Rona? And the thing is, like, a lot of preppers didn't go to the grocery store, which is probably a good thing. It's the same thing, like, a lot of preppers don't go to protests and riots, which is a good thing. But, like, at the same time, you don't know how you're going to do if you don't go out. And so, me and my wife went out during tons of the 2020 stuff to every single grocery store. You know, we saw how they were running security. We saw how the layouts of their stores. We saw what they had and didn't have, and then we reported that back to other people. So people call those salute reports. You know, we stayed outside, we watched, we saw where the cops were, and we just checked out, and we saw what they were rationing. The thing is, like, a lot of preppers, they talk a big game, but then they're like, no, I didn't go out. Well, how the fuck do you... I mean, it's good that you don't have to go out, but if you don't scout, if you don't recon, you don't fucking know what's going on. And if you don't communicate, if you're not, so like I was joining chat groups where everyone was sharing pictures and intel in places and things, and people did that with ammo also, ammo, food, water. The other side was doing it, and I think it's going to be the same thing here. I think that I think this is going to be Rona levels of grocery store disruptions, and I guess let's jump into my first topic. I think the state level is playing a very different game, and I think that's one of the things that makes this different. And me and the AI have been talking a lot. I asked the AI to make me a little grid, and I'll put the grid on screen now. Not literally now. I'll tell you when, for people watching later. Okay, now the grid. The grid is up. So this is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 states that are funding their food banks. You might think that's a good thing. Hold on, let me connect my stream to my other stream so I can get some of my stats here. There we go. Okay. For those of you just listening, it says Oregon, Washington, New Mexico, Louisiana, Vermont, and New York. You're not around for the Rona. You were kind of away. Understandable. I've been locked in a dungeon before too, so I know what it's like. So I didn't tell it on the grid to like start with who, which state started first, but I think a lot of people, like if Mike was here, like he would probably say that New York started first. I think him and Livingston Man were talking about Kathy Hochul. So I told it to aggregate the funding over a month. I don't think that Oregon one is necessarily right. Whoops. Are you sure that Oregon one is correct? Hold on, let me ask the AI. Yeah, 5 million. 5 million's for a month. That doesn't seem like a lot. But that's because they're using the TANF, which is the temporary assistance for needy families. So maybe that only had 5 million in it. I don't know, but that's okay. So what this means is, so Oregon is doing 5 million for November. Washington's doing 8.8 million just for November. New Mexico's doing 8 million for November. Louisiana doesn't know, but apparently they've got 150 million. I don't see how that could be possible, but they have 150 million to dump into this. Vermont says TBD. I thought Vermont was backfilling SNAP, but apparently they're doing direct grants to the food banks also. And then New York, 30 million, which is what, if you remember, Livingston Man, and this corroborates everything they were saying. And in the notes for New Yorkistan, it says aims to support 16 million meals, builds on 11 million prior infrastructure funding, whatever the fuck that means. So why is this important? This is important for a couple of reasons. I'll leave this up in case you want to let your brain soak on it. This means that there is literally now 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I can't even count. 4, 5. It's because there's a bunch of other little lines on my screen that keep popping up because I'm on OBS. 6 states that are going to have state-ran grocery stores. Literally state-ran grocery stores. Now, Oregon has wanted to do state-run grocery stores, especially in Portland, since like February, because the crime has got so bad that the psychos have managed to chase most of the grocery stores out of Portland. In New York is the same thing. New York has their theft and crime problems are so bad that they're having to close down their grocery stores. They're called anchor stores. And when those anchor stores close and people don't need to go out and get groceries, they tend to not go shop for anything where there's not a grocery store, because that's just common sense. Like, how many people go out to do anything if they're not going to get groceries when they're out? So almost nobody. So, yes, Show says, isn't that what Mom Donnie wants to do in New York? 100%. Mom Donnie wants to do it too, and so does Hochul. That's exactly what Livingston Man and Mike were talking about the other day. And I would argue they kind of need to, because the looting and the civil unrest has got so bad. That's going to be the only way they're going to be able to deliver and secure groceries. You want to know what else is insane? Tangent. I think it was either in Washington or Oregon. They just passed a law saying that grocery stores can take over other empty grocery stores now. Was it Washington or Oregon, where they just made it legal for a grocery store to... I bet it's Washington, because I know Oregon's done it already. To restart in a prior grocery stores building. Washington, Bellingham. Okay, so Albertsons had imposed illegal land use restrictions on its former store property in the Birchwood neighborhood of Bellingham. These restrictions barred any competitor from opening a grocery store in that location, effectively creating a food desert since 2018. Attorney Bob Ferguson, which the dude is absolute, as absolutely far left as it gets. Attorney General Bob Ferguson investigated and forced Albertsons to lift the restriction in June 2024. As a result, it is now legal for a grocery store to reopen in that building, reversing years of blocked access. Albertsons forced the residents of Birchwood to walk further for groceries so it could reduce competition for its own grocery store nearby. And it says why this matters. This case set a precedent. Property covenants that block grocery stores can be challenged as antitrust violations. It opens the door for reviving shuttered grocery store locations in underserved areas. Underserved area is secret code for poor people. Also known as people who like to burn, loot, and murder and steal. It's not overwhelming. It's overwhelmingly one ethnicity, but there are underserved areas that are other ethnicities too. So why that's important has nothing to do with QFC or Fred Meyer, Safeway, Albertsons, Frico Myers. What it has to do with is it means the state can now build its own grocery stores wherever it wants. It's not going to call them grocery stores. It's going to call them food banks. What you might not know about food banks is they have their own logistics. They have their own ordering systems. They can order from suppliers just like grocery stores can. The state level is making a direct competitor to the grocery store. So everyone's like, oh, the grocery stores are going to hurt so bad if SNAP is gone. And people are like, well, no, because people are still going to have to buy groceries, right? So this actually does F the grocery stores. So in Oregon, if $5 million is going to the food bank, that is $5 million less the grocery stores are going to get. If Washington is sending $8.8 million to the food bank, this is just November, grocery stores are going to get $8.8 million less dollars. Instead of backstopping SNAP, which is what they should be doing, they're backstopping the food banks. What's the problem with the food banks? There aren't food banks everywhere. It talks about the poor, underserved areas. Well, do you think there's food banks in underserved areas? No, there's not. They get robbed and attacked and everything, and they're not safe just like everywhere else. So part A here, they are creating a state, I already forgot the word, a direct competition. They are creating a direct state level competition to the grocery stores, ran by our taxes. We already pay fucking taxes for SNAP, and now we're paying state level taxes to back. God, this is insane. So if SNAP was turned on, what stops them from keeping more of our taxes going to the food banks? Then we're paying more taxes for SNAP because we don't want the poor kids to starve. Oh no, not the poor kids are gonna starve. While their land whale fucking parents blob around like harbor seals. Go fuck yourself. Anyway, it's not the kid's fault. I get it. It's not the kid's fault, but this is typical leftist bullshit where they abuse their own kids. Nobody fucking knows who their dads are. Okay? And they're in these dog shit, dirty, squalid situations. And then they do all these little TikToks. Oh, the government needs to pay for my food. Fucking my entire Twitter feed right now is just people saying the government needs to feed my kids. The government needs to feed my whole fucking Twitter feed is the government needs to feed my kids. So fine, whatever, I'll feed your fucking kids if you'll shut the fuck up. But tell me this. Why do I need to be paying you to feed your kids, even though it seems like you're just feeding yourself? Not to mention the fucking cookies, soda, potato chips, lobster tails. all the other bullshit. Federally, fine, fucking whatever. Why do you get to decide what kids deserve to have cookies? So shut the fuck up. Yeah, that tub of cookies is like a 2-gallon jug of cookies. Like, what the fuck? Anyway. So, fine, what the fuck ever. If it shuts you all up and keeps you from rioting, which is really what this is about. This is just about keeping them from rioting. Because as many other YouTubers have pointed out, your kids are starving. Why the fuck are you stealing a TV and shoes? Because your kids are starving, apparently. We was Kangs. Anyway. So, why the fuck do we have to pay for that federally and state level? And here's what I think is going to happen. I don't think state level is going to go away. I think they're like, we gotta make sure this never happens again. We gotta raise everyone's taxes state level so we can pay for the food banks because, kids are starving. The poor kids are starving. I hope my audio is not blown out, by the way. I apologize. I'll get the microphone away a little bit. So we in Washington, Oregon, New Mexico, Louisiana, Vermont, and New York are paying our taxes so our states can create direct competition to the grocery stores that federally we were already subsidizing. What the ever-loving fucking bullshit is that? And they were probably going to do this anyway. I know in Portland they've been planning this for a while. New York's been planning this for a while. There was one other state, I can't remember what it was. I'm actually surprised Illinois is not on here. Thank you. Thank you for the 5x5. I think this is literally going to be the start of state level grocery stores. If that doesn't scare the fucking shit out of you, it should. Oregon already has its own digital currency for its food program, and so does New York. If some of you remember, if you were here last time, you heard me and Mike talking about this. I think it was last one or the one before. New York already has its own digital currency, and it makes sense because New York doesn't actually have money. I mean, it does, but it doesn't have its own money printing machine. See, here's the problem. Oregon can't print its own money. Washington can't print its own money. New Mexico, Louisiana, Vermont. Maybe Vermont has some money printing machines. I don't know. New York can't print its own money. But what can they do? What can they do? They can use taxes to buy food through the food banks, and then they can use digital currency for everybody to buy the food back. And it's like having a food-backed currency. Not only everyone like, well, you shouldn't be able to control what I feed my kids. We was Kangs. And what the fuck do you think the food banks are going to be doing? That is literally what the food banks are going to be doing. The state can dictate exactly what they want those food banks to provide. So they can just say rice and beans and protein. But apparently it's like, well, the food banks need to have the cultural. What kind of cultural special foods do some food banks make sure they have for their communities? Gosh, this shit just fucking makes me so mad. halal and kosher options, halal certified meats, beef, chicken, lamb, kosher canned goods, and shelf-stable items labeled clearly on USDA Foods list with H or K. That's for the halal and kosher options. For the Latino communities, masa flour for tamales. How about go back to your fucking countries and go get your food cards from your own country? Jesus. Masa flour. Canned hominy, which is black beans and chipotle peppers. Holiday specific items like ingredients for Navidad meals. Ugh. Asian communities, tofu, soy sauce, rice noodles, sauteed tofu and broccoli kits, coconut milk, jasmine rice, and curry pastes. African and Middle Eastern communities, couscous, lentils, chickpeas, spices like cumin, turmeric, and Burberry. Flatbreads and cooking oils preferred in regional. Fuck off. Fuck off back to your countries. Indigenous communities, blue cornmeal, wild rice, and salmon. Actually, that sounds really nice. I would like some wild rice and salmon. Traditional foods listed in the food distribution program on Indian reservations. That makes sense. The rest of those don't. So now that we've ticked every single racist box that I could find, that's all fucking bullshit. If our kids are starving, we need our halal and lamb. What the fuck? Is that real? How many underserved Jewish communities are there that need to go get their halal at the food bank? What the fuck? Like, is this real? Are we living, like, in reality? I thought the kids were starving. And yeah, I used to say some dumb shit when I worked at the grocery stores, and I should have totally been fired, but I wasn't trying to be racist. I was just... the shit just pisses me off. I'm actually surprised. Couscous, lentils, and chickpeas. Why are African and Middle Eastern communities... Alright. Co-pilot, why did you put African and Middle Eastern communities in the same bucket? You're right to call that out, and I appreciate it. Grouping African and Middle Eastern communities together like that was reductive and doesn't reflect the rich diversity of cultures, cuisines, and histories across those regions. It's a mistake I should have avoided. Each community deserves its own recognition, especially when we're talking about food, which is deeply tied to identity, tradition, and belonging. For example, North African cuisines like Moroccan or Egyptian often feature couscous. Yeah, that's... Why is it saying Egypt and Morocco are North African? Oh boy. This actually went the other direction than I thought. West African includes yams, plantains, agouti, and fufu, very different from North African and Middle Eastern. Middle Eastern cuisines might center around hummus, za'atar, pita, halal, with different distinct regional variations from Lebanon to Iraq. That is insane to me that it calls Morocco and Egypt North African. How do you consider Morocco and Egypt North African? Great question. And that's one that gets the heart. North Africa includes Morocco, Algeria, Tunisia, Libya, and Egypt. Fucking what? Maghreb West and Mashriq East, depending on culture and linguistic context. They're all Arabic. It's all fucking Islam. It's all the Middle East. I can't believe people call that North Africa. Sounds like the biggest bullshit I've heard in like 10 minutes. Anyway. So it's interesting to me. Here, I'll go put that slide up next if you think I'm just making all this shit up. Which I don't blame you. And yeah, we'll skip indigenous communities. Everybody in the Pacific Northwest knows about wild rice and salmon. I don't think that's indigenous communities. I think that's just normal food here. It's kind of weird that it acted like that's some kind of magic indigenous food. You can just literally just go fish and get that. Okay, here we go. I don't think I'm making this shit up. It's funny that it doesn't have any other like African foods. And it's funny when I thought of African foods, I thought of like African Americans, but there's no. It's also funny how it doesn't have African American food on here as being some other culture that needs special treatment at the food bank. Because I said, like, what are the specific foods that the food banks get that are culturally specific, and there's no African American food on here. Which was the very first thing I thought of. Again, I worked at a grocery store for a long time, so they come and try to find their collard greens, and I'm forgetting the rest now. Collard greens and lard, and African Americans have a rich culture of different foods that they like to eat. Is my point. And I don't know. You'd think Copilot would be a little more politically correct because they eat mud and dirt. Sometimes. I like to think that we all eat mud and dirt sometimes. So yeah. That is part one. Part two is that they could grow things. Everyone could grow things. And I got into it with somebody. And then we'll wrap up. This person said, a large number of people on Snap don't have time for a garden or the ability to do so. And I said, I'd be interested in hearing what the top 5 barriers are. And then this person said, time is the biggest barrier alongside ability. And I said, so you're telling me people that have time to post on TikTok all day that have no job and have 5 kids don't have the fucking time or the resources to start a garden? And then their super witty response back to me was, how about the cost for setup? And you can literally get dirt, water, and a bucket. And then once you're done with your tomatoes, put the seed in it and grow more tomatoes. It's the dumbest shit I've ever heard in my life. So you're telling what this person's telling me is that they're just too stupid to know how to grow something. Again, racist, bigoted shit. Are you telling me that these people are just too dumb to grow things? I thought they came from plantations and they were slaves and we was kangs and we were taken off our land and we were in Wakanda and we were we had all the things. And now you're telling me that like they just don't have the skills to fucking put a seed in the ground and put water on it and turn it into something? That's just the most reductive racist shit I've ever fucking heard. And if these people aren't going to be held, and I get it, yeah, some of them are in a wheelchair or they're in robot suits or whatever, people who are actually disabled. You got 5 kids. I was gardening when I was like 6 years old. YouTube exists. AI exists. Take the thing out of the fridge when you eat it, take the seeds out. Put them in dirt, make more. You can just put things in the ground and grow new things. It's insane to me that these people are so coddled that they can't be held responsible to grow something in their windowsill. Just grow one fucking thing. That's all I ask. Even if it only makes like one fucking tomato. Or just one, just out of every bag of potatoes, just save one fucking potato and put it in the dirt and make more potatoes. You can feed your whole apartment complex with 5-gallon buckets and potatoes in like within a couple months. Like it's just so insane to me. Not a couple months, like 3 to 6 months. You could have your entire apartment complex. Whoop. So anyway, yada yada yada. That is that. That is the end. So that is all my thoughts on this, and I'm tired of the political correctness, and I'm tired of the coddling. People just need to be honest. This is fucking insane. This whole thing's insane. And we're going to have state-ran grocery stores. And and then what's everyone going to do when they start looting those? They're going to need the National Guard anyway. They're going to declare civil unrest. They're going to declare states of emergency and shit, and fucking roadblocks and roadblocks. And there's still going to be people cutting off their ankle monitors and running around like fucking lunatics. There was some guy in Vancouver that just did a bunch of no-no stuff and cut his ankle monitor off and disappeared. They have no fucking idea where he went. And if you think I'm some racist asshole, it was some white guy. And people keep running semis into all of our infrastructure. A second bridge just got fucking taken out by a semi. They won't say what ethnicity it is. They won't say if they can speak English or not. It could be a white guy for all I know. The first guy was a white guy, but he was like Canadian, I guess. I mean, allegedly. They won't tell anybody, and that's the problem. Like, if people won't just like have these fucking conversations, like, we're never gonna get past this. Like, you've got Islam marches in Idaho. You've got Islam marches in Maryland. Like, you've got Islam marches all over the fucking country. You've got Mexicans waving the Mexican flag everywhere. Palestinian LARPers waving the Palestinian flag everywhere. You've got Somalis fucking taking over everything. Us being politically correct and just not stating the obvious has just made us weak and not pointing out that there's a huge fucking problem. And we need to be united under a single banner, and that banner is Christianity, and realize that we're going to get absolutely wiped out. And I'll end with this. Let me rerun my Grok. Chat says, we have been invaded and we shouldn't have to be nice about it, nor should we accept it. Look at I'm not saying this as if you don't know, but the videos out of the UK are just unreal. That dude just running around stabbing people in like broad daylight again. They didn't even get a narwhal. He didn't even get narwhal this time. Rerun the CSV and let me know. please update and rerun the CSV. Christianity needs to wake the fuck up. Dude, the LDS church needs to wake the fuck up. Christian Warrior just did another YouTube. The LDS just doubled down and said nobody but active duty police and, like, you know, military police can have guns on the property. That's just fucking insane. Absolutely. If you haven't seen Christian Warrior, is it Christian Warrior Project? His new video, Christian Warrior Project. Did I get it right? Christian, yeah. Dude, that guy, like... Okay, what's Grok? What's the Grok say? Where's my CSV? I said make me my CSV. Here we go. Oh man, it's gone way higher. Hold on, everybody. It's gone way the fuck up. I call this the... That's weird, my notepad just fucked up. I call this my anti-Christian sentiment matrix. I'll throw it up on the screen in just a second. I gotta make it pretty because it's a CSV and doesn't look very pretty. Here we go. Hold on, Ringo. I'm doing something, buddy. All right, I'm throw it on screen here in just a second. Here's the anti-Christian sentiment. I just reran it. Shh. Go on. Wow, this is way up, even since I ran it this morning. Go away, different squares. So for those of you who can't read very well, or are listening, it says biblical prophetic indictments quoting scripture urging Jesus to guilt is over 200K. It broke 200K likes. This is in the last 4 or 5 days. 200K likes, over 132 tweets. It's up almost 10%. Fake failed Christian shaming, calling out complicity or hypocrisy. It is up over 100K, up to 95 tweets. It's up almost 20%. Sarcastic hypocrisy jabs, direct Christ-like or Christian mockery in replies. Over 75K, 75 tweets. 17%. Going on 18%. Pushback, strain amplifiers highlighting unrealistic expectations. 35K, 33 tweets. Almost 17% up since yesterday. Veiled duty expectation shaming, implying Christians should or must fix this. 24K likes in the last total. 49 tweets. It's up almost 20%. And the non-underhanded practical calls is almost 20K now, 62 tweets, and is up 12%. So the kind of the top and bottom of this, I guess you'd call the two extremes. The top end is almost up 10%, which is what I would say is like the worst of the worst. And the bottom, where people are trying to counter this, is up 12%. And then the middle, it's called kind of like the 80-20. So like the middle 80%, where all the fuckwads are at, is all up. So the people that are kind of sitting in the middle, just being shitheads, is all up between 16 to 20%. The people that are being the biggest dickholes are up 10%. And the people trying to resist this are up like 13%. So this is still as far as I'm concerned, this is still an attack on Christianity, and we're all in this together. Yes, they're still saying eat the rich. They're still blaming Republicans. They're still blaming everybody's still blaming everybody. But this is also like a concerted attack on the church and Jesus. And I included memes and sarcasm, and a ton of work has gone into training this model that I've been working on. So this is actually like pretty accurate, to be honest. So that's kind of that. I'm going to be tracking this until these numbers start slowing down. So we'll see. So that's it. I'm going to leave y'all. With that. I think, yeah, this is actually crazy. This is actually crazy, and the LDS Church has got its head buried in the sand. Everybody knows the LDS churches have food, and they already know the LDS churches aren't armed, and everyone thinks the LDS is Christian for some reason, whatever. So the LDS church is going to have a hard time. I think LDS is going to have a hard time. I think Jehovah's Witnesses are going to have a hard time. I think the Seventh-day Adventists will be okay. Catholics, it might be hit or miss. I'm not sure. The Catholics might declare whatever the Catholic version of a jihad is. I don't know. The Crusades can come back very, 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 very fast. People just do not realize how fast the Crusades can come back. I think that's what bridges all of us. Just like the roof Koreans can come back. I know the roof Koreans aren't on the Christian matrix, but if the roof Koreans decide to post up, then there you go. Good luck dealing with the roof Koreans, because I'm not going anywhere near that, and nobody in their right mind would. I think like raw American culture, gun culture, understands itself, and an armed society is a polite society. And I think every ethnicity is going to do it a little bit different. I think I've said this before. Like, I think Mexicans are probably going to rally around their restaurants. And I think the hoods are going to be extremely dangerous. And I think meth heads are going to make giant tire forts. I think, and I hate to, make it all sound like a video game, but it's kind of going to be like a video game. Except a million times worse. I think armed groups are going to go take over Costco's, and is that all going to happen this weekend? No, but this is as close as we've been in 5 years. So if I had to say one thing besides get rice and beans and gauze, I would say you need to be training on counter vehicle ambush, vehicle react to contact. Understand that drawing from concealment in a vehicle is a monster fucking bitch. And Christian Warrior is he has a promo for a new product that's a a gun holster in your cup holder. And those are the kinds of things that you're going to need. Because drawing from concealment in a vehicle is just it's not impossible. It takes a lot of practice. And you're probably going to smash your window out, flinging your seatbelt off. So you got to practice it with your window down so you don't smash your window out. Keeping your gun in center console is fucking stupid because you've got to turn around to draw it. Yeah. And you got to do it without shooting yourself, shooting your car, shooting the person driving with you. Yeah, so if I'd have to train on one thing, it'd be vehicle react to contact, because vehicle ambushes are just going through the roof. Absolutely through the roof. And that also means, scoping the parking lot out before you park. That might mean backing in so you can pull out easier. That means not sitting in the parking lot after you got your groceries. That means if you maybe leave your kid at home with somebody, so you're someone you trust, obviously, but making sure that you don't have a little toddler barfing little shit asshole as you're trying to, stuff groceries in your car and not get abducted by a bunch of goons. So, yeah. I think that's it. And we're just about an hour anyway. That went super fast. So thanks, show, for hanging out. I'm glad I had a little audience. I appreciate it. I think this weekend is the real deal. If you work at a grocery store, call in. Don't go grocery shopping. If you got to get your meds, go through the drive-thru. If you have to get groceries and you want to stock up and there's still a lot, I would make up a story. Your grocery cart needs to tell a story. So, if you're getting a bunch of beans and rice, get some salsa and tortillas. That way it tells a story. They won't bug you. So, but I wouldn't go out this weekend. Tomorrow, Friday, is like the last I would go out. Because once the, once the first happens and a lot of people go, people get their food cards restarted, through the 20th or whatever, it doesn't matter. Once the first people see the foods running out, once the first people see foods getting looted, it's just going to be on. Because remember this, it does not matter what's really happening. It only matters what people think is going to happen. Act and react. Actions are always faster than reactions, and people tend to always overreact as they realize they've been lied to, and as their imagination takes over. So I'll leave you all with that. There's still time. I'll be following it all weekend, just like everybody else will be. Just stay the fuck away from the grocery stores this weekend. Have a happy, fun, safe Halloween tomorrow with your little booger eaters. And stay out of the storms and check your batteries and buy my book. And if you already bought my book, please leave a review for my book. And we'll talk to you all later. Bye-bye. Hey, Danny Yelly Woodard, how's it going? I'm wrapping up, but I'll talk in the chat. I'll talk in the chat for a few minutes.
Do you want to be replaced? You can do this job, you don't even have to try. If you don't get this job, try not to cry. There's always the awesome unemployment line. It's a race to the bottom that you didn't know. You went to school and now you're in debt with nothing to show. You wasted your whole life, your bloodline is done, because you were replaced by someone not even from your isn't that fun. You went to school and got into hella debt. They told you to code and all your grades were met. You learned how to be a good engineer and your tests were all aced. But it doesn't fucking matter now. It's time to get replaced. It's a race to the bottom that you didn't know. You went to school and now you're in debt with nothing to show. You wasted your whole life, your bloodline is done because you were replaced by someone not even from here. Isn't that fun? Your job is outsourced, isn't that great? Coming to work in the morning and the deliverables are late. They did everything wrong and kicked the tickets back, but nothing's been fucking done because their agency is whack. It's a race to the bottom that you didn't know. You went to school and now you're in debt with nothing to show. You wasted your whole life and your bloodline is done because you were replaced by someone not even from here. They call you useless, lazy, and they say your culture sucks. You went to school and did what they said, and it didn't mean a. Now you're in debt with nothing to see. Your bloodline is over, sold out overseas to an H-1B.
Sick and tired of all the pounding in my head. Leave me alone, I just wanna go to bed. I want to forget today all the dumb things I've said. Roaming back and forth like I'm the walking dead. The whole world seems against me. I don't know what I'm doing here. I exist to try to fix things, but I seem to fail every year. Just give me a chance. I'm so sick and tired of goals impossible to meet. Barely scooting the needle forward, hard to balance on my feet. I just want it all to go away, and it'd be great if this would stop, but it won't, and I'm stuck here simply running out the clock. The whole world seems against me. I don't know what I'm doing here. I exist to try to fix things, but I seem to fail every year. I just need a chance. I'm from where angels dared to tread. I made them listen to what I said. Sent here with a religious trance. Only old by singles the whole world seems against me. I don't know what I'm doing here. I exist to try to fix things, but I seem to fail every year. Just give me a chance. I know I'm not the best, but I passed the test. I'm not as good as the rest, but I've been blessed. I left my cozy nest, following my arch quest. I just need a chance, fighting in hell's nest.
traffic on my phone, and everything's fine. I'm going to the office where I'm in charge all the time. I finally got their butts in the chairs and going to micromanage them whether or not they care. I have my latte here and it's clear with my vehicle's auto steer that the name on my coffee says I'm the boss. The boss. I'm the bossy, bossy boss. I'm the boss. Whoa. My license plate says I'm the boss. That makes me the boss. When I pull into my parking spot, it says reserved for the boss. I asked my admin to check my schedule. No more meetings too soon. Sit down in my hard-wall office and hum my tunes. I wiggle my toes in my pointy shoes. If anyone pisses me off today, I might fire them too. I'm the boss, the boss. I'm the bossy, bossy boss. I'm the boss. Whoa, my license plate says I'm the boss. That makes me the boss. That sign on my door says I'm the boss. I'm adverse to making any decisions, but that's okay, you see. I have an entire analytics department to make those for me. I ask them to put forth their best idea, take it and make it mine. You think they'd mind, but they let me do it all the time because I'm the boss. The boss. I'm the bossy, bossy boss. I'm the boss. Whoa. My license plate says I'm the boss. That makes me the boss. I sit at the part of the conference room table reserved for the boss. I didn't put on all this makeup for you to not look at me. My eyes are up here, bitch, and I want you to see. Get your cute ass in the ops center at 12:23. We're gonna go over your metrics on the TV. Right after I run to the ladies' room too. I'm the boss. The boss. I'm the bossy, bossy boss. I'm the boss. Whoa, my license plate says I'm the boss. That makes me the boss. Be right back, I need to apply more lip gloss. See you in the ops center, Tiger.